I'm making this video because I feel very compelled to do such. Almost feel like maybe God is telling me that I need to make it, or maybe something I have to say will help somebody else. And I have no plan on any of this. I don't really know which way it's going to go, so I'm kind of leaving that up in God's hands a little bit. I've been really sad lately. I lost my husband in 2011 and was left with a lot of responsibility that was regularly his. And, you know, when it first happened, everything kind of hits you and it's like you just function. There's no real plan. Sometimes you don't know how it goes, you wing it. You know, and in my case, I was left in kind of a whirlwind. His filing style was all over the floor. You know, you had stacks of bills or receipts or other things, and so you had to go through them and figure out what, where. And oddly enough, sometimes you can think about going through all of those receipts and those bills like they're pieces to a puzzle as your life is, you know, and sometimes you try to fit the wrong pieces in where you think they should go and they're not, so it's wrong. And sometimes you just make it work. Sometimes they fit, but maybe it's not quite the right piece, but it still kind of fits. So, you know, you never know until you get farther down the picture in that puzzle and you realize that piece should have never gone there. So you have to take it apart and redo it. And in some retrospects, that's what I've been doing with my life right at the moment, in a hole. It's gonna make me cry. But, so, in 7.5 years, almost 8, I've been building this puzzle, and kind of to look out for everybody else, and little bits for myself, but a lot for everybody else. You know, make sure everybody had work and everybody has, you know, is taken care of. And it's been a struggle. And in this struggle, you learn a little bit who's friends, who really isn't friends, what is the meaning of friends, which could be a whole nother video and topic, I'm sure. But, you know, what I thought was real wasn't. You know, what I thought wasn't real was. People are awful in some retrospects. Some are great, but in me trying to take care of everybody else, I lost track of taking care of myself. And some will agree and some will disagree, because they'll say, oh, well, in the 7.5 years you've been out barrel racing and accomplishing things in that direction, and you've been here and you've been there, and in some ways it's been an escape. It's been a kind of like your get out of jail free card. You know, you go somewhere else and you don't think about it. You kind of leave it up to everybody else to take care of the stuff at home, because it's so overwhelming that you can't take care of it. And then you come back and you realize, yeah, I gotta take care of it. So you know, you spend time and you fix any mishaps or anything that went wrong, and you go back to worrying about everybody else and not yourself. And this is what I've done. I've put out all of the fires that when David died, that was left for me to do. And by no means, you know, that was how he lived. I don't want to make it sound like it was awful. I mean, that's what he did. He could think greatly, and he could run 4 or 5 businesses at one time, and he did it all in his head. It wasn't on paper, and it wasn't written down somewhere where you could follow this guideline. You had to kind of guess and pick and choose and figure it out. And for the most part, I did that. I feel like I figured it out. I mean, I stumbled, and you know, some things weren't quite right, and some things were great, but it's tiring, and I came to the conclusion the end of 2018 that it was time for me to retrospectively do work that I want to do that suits my lifestyle, what I do. I mean, I work with horses, and we have animals and cows, and we had goats, and we have puppies, and we have a baby, and all of this other stuff. And I am not qualified to be doing any work in the oil field, realistically. I mean, anybody can do a set of books. It's not rocket scientist. My secretary does it way better than I do, for sure. But I can do it. It's just one of those mind over matters. But going in through and trying to fit all these pieces in this puzzle to make sure everybody else is taken care of and not myself, I've lost myself. And I came to the conclusion that I was going to get out of it and do something that I wanted to do for a living. By no means can I not work. I have to work, and so I want to work and do things that I like to do, and not be in this business anymore. Which brought up, I mean, it was like you get your head set and you make a plan, and then you feel guilty, and you feel guilty because this was a legacy that was built by somebody you cared about, and this was a legacy that, you know, I don't know that he ever had hopes that the kids would do it, but none of them, you know, really wanted to do it. And it's a dangerous job. It's not a great job. And at one time, you know, David was going to sell it anyway. He had letters out that I found after he passed away, and the computer that he was trying to sell it, you know, to the highest bidder. Highest bidder wins. And coming to the conclusion to do it required me to, you know, sell it and sell all the things around, and it was like the puzzle that I had been putting together for 7.5 years started to fall apart because I made a decision kind of for me. And so I got on, you know, you get on Facebook and you read all these you know, uplifting memes and stuff that people write on there, and you think about it, and you know, they're like, if you don't take the step now or take the leap, you know, you'll regret it later, and they never mention about taking the leap and regretting that you take the leap, you know, and you know, I've stepped out and taken a huge leap that is going to seriously affect my family and my son's family, in order to expand and do something else, and something family orientated. And I feel guilty. I feel so guilty. Because even though he's dead, I feel like I've let him down. And then the people around don't quite understand that. And so it makes me sad, and it makes me feel guilty. And as much as I want to tell everybody that I'm doing it for my family and for myself, I can't get by without feeling bad. And I'm trying to get past that, because, you know, when you make a decision, the people around you, you know, some are for you, some won't say anything, and some are so against you. And so you get ridiculed. Sorry. You get a bad name. You know, you get a bad name for nothing. That again is one of those whole other subjects, you know, where people will run you down for the wrong reasons, and everybody's like, you gotta look past it, and it's hard. It's really hard. I can feel that I'm doing the right thing, or I believe I'm doing the right thing. I hope that I'm doing the right thing. I'm hoping that my children will benefit from me doing what I think is better for me, so that I'm a better person for them. I mean, even as adults for them. We only have one baby in the house, and that ultimately I'll be a better wife, and it's just really, really hard. And I don't know if any of you that have watched this video have gone through something so hard, that you try so hard at one thing and then you finally, in one retrospect, I give up. I've gotten kind of bullied. I've kind of gotten pushed around in this job. I've had to wing it in some retrospects. I've had to read a lot. I've had to study to kind of understand even what part of the oil field we do, because, I didn't go to school to do this, And, I'm hoping somewhere in this video of explaining this trial and tribulation that I have gone through, that it may help somebody else to, kind of choose yourself. Because I do believe, no matter how sad I am right now, or how I'm crying, or how I feel, in the long run, we will all be better off, because it won't be, hopefully I won't be so stressed. But it's just, you've got to step out on the ledge and take care of yourself. I do believe if you take care of yourself and you're happy with yourself, then you'll be happy with others. You can be happy in your relationships. You can be happy with your children. You can be happy in any direction that you choose to go, but you do have to choose yourself. And if you continue to choose other people, and you choose to take care of other people, you're teaching them that you are last, that you are second place. And I don't want that to sound so negative, because some people will take extreme advantage and some won't. It's one of those things you gotta kind of, look to who's doing what. But if you put yourself second, you'll be treated second. And that's what I did. And in this whole 7.5, 8 years, I've been trying to conquer something that, my heart wasn't totally into it. Even if it was, I wouldn't have done any better of a job. I do feel confident in the job that I've done, and that I don't think I could have done it any better. But it's now time for an ending of an era, and I hope that those that this affects, or those that know the job and the situation, and that will, not look to me as a quitter, or, I didn't do something right. It's time to end it. And that's the other thing that makes me sad, is that, when somebody dies, you hold on to them forever, and sometimes you can hold on to them harder than you should. I do believe that. Holding on to their clothes and some belongings, and a business, it's not necessary. You hold so much in your heart, and the pictures in your brain of everything that you've ever went through with that person, and you don't need all these material things to get by. And it's taken me this long to kind of realize it, because although my business and the houses in Casper and that, that was our thing, it's not necessary. It's not our lifestyle anymore, and it doesn't make you any more happy. Sometimes a room will jog back a good memory or a bad memory. It just doesn't matter. Your self-worth and your mental being is what matters, and I think moving on and doing something, for me, moving on and doing something better for me is the right answer. And I don't know, I hope this helps somebody. This is a long video, so I hope you don't get wrapped up. I don't even know I don't know what I'm going to do with this video. And, parts of me, I feel like God's kind of told me I needed to kind of tell my story, and I'm supposed to put it on Facebook, I think, and God, you think of how stupid that is everybody puts all their bullshit on Facebook, and they, want everybody to see, but, I don't want pity, I don't want I'm sorry for you, I don't want any of that, I don't want your attention, I truly want to help somebody, I truly want it to be me helping somebody else. Sorry, I thought somebody pulled in my driveway. Oh, and in case you're wondering why I'm doing this in the car, it's because the baby's sleeping. And I need to give him a little bit of a rest because he didn't take a nap. So, I have to clear myself up so that I'm not a goofy mess when he wakes up. So I can be the happy-go-lucky mom. But I feel like maybe somewhere in this little story, somebody's either going through the same thing and needs to let go of something, or somebody's experienced somebody that died and needs to know it's okay to cry, no matter how many years later. It's okay to hurt. I don't know if you ever get over it. Not that I expect to, but some days you just drive down a road or hear a song and you can cry. And it's weird because I have a wonderful husband now, and I couldn't ask for a better person to be with, to understand all of this and to let me have that space, because some people don't let you have it. And he's been nothing but gracious, so I'm blessed in that spot. Because he's never gone through it. Anybody that hasn't gone through it doesn't totally get it, but if they try to get you, that's important, and he does very much so. So I know somewhere along the line somebody's going to have some negative comment on this, and it's so weird because they do, especially if you put something on Facebook, by God, then everybody has something to say. So I don't know, I've never done a video like this, I've never done a blog, I barely have told my story, bits and pieces here and there. But if it helps somebody, you can call me if you want to talk. Even if we don't know each other and you see this video and you lost something or someone that's so important to you, and you have to put the puzzle together, you have to fix all these pieces and pick up all this stuff, and I'll never get over walking into that office and seeing all the most of them are bills, but all these piles all over the floor. Probably 50 piles everywhere, and I had to pick through in each one and then figure out who owes what and where do I have to pay it, and how do I have to pay it, and what do I have to sell to pay it, because that's happened a couple times, and it's always worked, it's always got conquered. And when I made the decision to basically sell out, oh God, it was like a roller coaster. It was like somebody took the puzzle and they shook all the pieces and let them all fall to the floor, and every time you picked them up and picked two up and tried to snap them together, they fell apart, and somebody else kicked it apart, and then somebody else didn't like this, and it's been a roller coaster. Making this decision is almost like opening up, as harsh as this is going to sound, it's going to be almost like opening up the casket again. And then you go through all the emotions all over again. And, like I am at this point, I want to lock the gate to my house and I don't want people to come in. And I'm at the point where I won't tolerate any bullshit from anybody. I won't tolerate your negative attitude, and I won't tolerate your criticism, and I won't tolerate your nasty attitude and how you think things should have been done and don't, because that happens. Should I get a phone call every day about what I should have done or what I'm doing or whatever? And it's like I haven't been able to live my life. And it's about to change big time. And I hope and pray that, I don't know much about the afterlife and any of that stuff, but I hope and pray that David's, he understands, and that his family will understand, and they're not questioning, they're just, you doing what you have to do. And I hope that they know that, it's in God's hands and all the good things are going to happen, and I'm doing my best to make it somebody else's legacy. I am doing that, and I hope I don't disappoint David, because I always worried about disappointing him, always. And I hope I don't disappoint my family, because I don't want to come across selfish. I just think that I personally, through all of this, need to take care of me. And I hope that anybody and everybody that watches this somewhere along the line, you're touched, that God speaks to you and you understand your situation better. And I want to say God bless. Have a good night.